straight from the automotive industry event of the year, NADA 2025. Chicks in Charge and Authenticom are bringing you the biggest names in automotive. From industry disruptors to game-changing innovators, we're getting the inside scoop on what's next for the auto world. This is where leaders talk and the future takes shape. Are you ready? Buckle up and let's dive in.
Okay. Hey, welcome to another episode live from NADA of Chicks in Charge. My friend Kaylee Felio stopped by to chat with us today, and normally Shasta would be sitting here, but Shasta got stuck down at the Ford booth, and I'm like, I got this. I do podcasts, I got this. And so Kaylee, we were actually having a great conversation before we went on camera, and I wish we recorded all that because it was so good. We're going back to some of this.
Yeah, we should.
So Kaylee is with PartsEdge, and one of the cool things about PartsEdge, because he's been with them for 12 years, is that we were talking about the fact that she gets to do stuff with marketing and with dealerships, sales, all kinds of fun stuff, right? And where that wouldn't necessarily work great all the time, it works great here because, like, women have to be creative and analytical all the time, right? So we have to juggle kids' schedules. We have to juggle, like, whether they get to practice, all of this stuff. Does the car need service? We really have to juggle that here. Like, my husband doesn't do that. And then we have to balance the budget. And that's our analytical brain. But then we have to jump over and go, what are they going to be for Halloween? Should I decorate the house for Christmas? What things do I have to do? What clothes do I want to wear for this? Does my husband have underwear with no holes in it?
I love that.
We're in charge of all that.
We are
crap.
in charge of all that.
So you're in the perfect spot to be analytical and creative and really just kill it at PartsEdge.
Yeah, I love how you presented that because that's what I love, and that's where I've always been so torn with, like, the division of sales and marketing, because marketing is such a creative, it's very analytical too, but you have to be so creative with it. And you know, recently I've been really brainstorming because I don't really want to call it sales and marketing anymore. I want to figure out one word to call it, because I feel like as a salesperson, you have to be your brand, you have to market, you have to build trust and relationships. It's not about marketing bringing leads anymore.
Right.
It's really
It's developing relationships.
It is. And so I just feel like marketing isn't the right word anymore.
You know, and I don't like some people start giving themselves the title of, like, chief revenue officer. And to me, I'm like, that just sounds like it's about money. It doesn't sound like I'm a solution provider of any kind. Mm-hmm. You know, so it's tough. I do too. And the thing is that sales and marketing are really two different departments.
They are.
Right? Because marketing, which will drive sales, is really the storytelling behind what we're about and who we serve.
Yes.
It's what I have to figure out all the time. And then sales are, okay, you have a gap in your market. You have a gap in your market. You have a need right here, and I have a solution for it. Mm-hmm. My marketing got your attention, and now I'm going to tell you how to solve that problem.
Exactly.
So it's generally two different conversations, but a lot of times people go, that sounds like marketing. And it's like,
They are. They're so different.
So I want to go back to the olden days with you about where you started your career at 15.
Oh, yeah. I started my career at Subway. And, you know, it was actually, I got my foot in the door. A friend knew someone, and she was working at Subway, and she got me in the interview. I got hired, and from there, I just, I loved it. I loved working. I loved the responsibility. It was during a time, too, where my parents were really struggling, so I knew that I needed to work to buy myself a car, to take care of the things I wanted.
Right.
And
The extras.
And, it was amazing. And my parents were so supportive too, because the Subway I was working at was not in the town I lived. It was 30 minutes.
Did you grow up in Arizona?
No, I grew up in California, San Diego. And where I was working was a good 30-minute drive. And it was, they helped me get there, and then I got my license, and it was like, I could work more. And
love that. Well, that really just drives your hustle, right? So I think that, and I grew up, I'm not saying like I grew up in poverty, because I didn't know that we weren't rich. I didn't know that everybody lived like this. I just thought that was the norm. I didn't know that we were living less than anybody else. So I just thought, like, this is what it is. But you learn different skills when you're not expecting your parents to provide the things that are extra in your life, right? I mean, really, our job as parents is put a roof over your head, put food in your belly. The rest of that stuff, you have to learn that is on you. It's on you. It's really not my job to buy your first car.
No.
It's not my job to provide your insurance.
Yeah.
Like, if you want this thing, here's the responsibility that goes with it.
Absolutely.
How are we going to get to that? And it's our job to teach you that, because for the rest of your life, you have to know how to do these things.
Yes. Yeah.
And so I think that really works into like who you become as an adult and as a entrepreneur, because you are an entrepreneur. Right, like you may work for PartsEdge, but you're like creating your own economy with it, right? You're really working on like, how do I make this better, faster, stronger? How do I do that? Thinking like if this were your own company.
I do, and they. What I love and why I think I've stuck with them for so long is it's such a it feels like a family. It feels like I get so much trust in me, and I get to try new things and really just put all of that together. And I just love it. I love that I get to do that because I feel like it's mine. It's so hard though when you don't actually create it. Like I did not create this company. I did not create the solution, but I'm part of the expansion of it all and like helping tell the story.
Yeah, and you know what's funny is that you even feel the need to say that. That's just a real woman thing for us to do, like not take credit where we think that we probably should take credit. But it's like, you know, when you started there, what did it look like? And then with your help, what does it look like now? And even though everybody has helped to build that, you're a part of that movement and you just have to own that.
Yeah.
So for all of those who don't know what PartsEdge is, tell us what PartsEdge is.
Well,
that's hard to say. Tell us what PartsEdge is.
Yeah, I didn't name the company. It's so funny when I call it. They're like, "Wait, what? PartsEdge?" No, anyways. So what we do is we focus on the dealerships. One of the dealerships' largest assets, and that's parts inventory, and we help optimize that. We support the parts managers because in their role, most of them get in that role and they don't have any training. They don't have any support because most of the time dealers, GMs, they come from the variable side, which is fine. So they kind of just leave. They're like, you got it. You're a good accounting person. You know, you got it. But they need more support. They're managing multiple businesses under one.
Right.
They have techs, they have service, they have wholesale, they have used car, and it's, you know, there's lots of moving parts to it. But yeah,
that's what we should rename it. All the moving parts.
All the moving parts. You know, I love that, and we just help optimize it, more efficiency, get them that investment that they have, and turn it faster, and have the least amount of investment.
I'm always amazed whenever I talk to I've been in dealerships here, and there'll be some parts guys that they run their department. They just run like what do I have here? They don't think about like, can I sell parts on eBay? Can I sell to other aftermarket places? Can I be that? They don't think about that because they're not interested. They're not thinking about how do I expand this part. They're just like, okay, this is here and how it is, and this is how we do it. I'm going to run it instead of how can I make it better.
Well, and I think that's kind of not their fault really because of how they get kind of thrown into it, and some folks just don't have the time to really focus on growing the business. And that's where I feel like I always talk when I'm talking. I'm like, you will have more time to focus on the more important things. I mean, yes, it's important what we do, but like we want to support them and save them time so that they can grow the business and think of those things. When you're in survival mode, you can't think about doing all the things you talked about.
I think about, like I said, I was a manager at a dealership, and the parts guy, his name is Jerry Baker. Shout out to Jerry Baker, love that guy. He's still there. He's been at that dealership for over 20 years. And Jerry Baker used to, every week on Monday and Friday, we had our manager's meeting, and Jerry Baker every week would want a key machine. I want a key machine. I just want a key machine. Like, you'd have to just keep asking for it, right? I need a key machine. And the GM would be like, how long is it going to take you before you turn that thing over before it pays for itself? Blah, blah, blah. Like, it was so funny. Like, it went on for a year. Yeah. So finally, Jerry Baker, he'd worked up an entire proposal, how many keys he needed to make before it would pay for itself. He had to fight to get this key machine, right? Whereas the sales department, they're like, we need a shiny red tower that's wrapped in Lycra or whatever it is, and by God, it's there the next week.
Yeah.
It's never going to ROI. It's never going to produce a dime. And no one's going, well, how long before your shiny red tower like turns into a magic? No one says that. They're just like, get him a red tower.
He needs a red tower. He'll sell more cars.
And so Jerry had given him this entire proposal, and like it would be like 9 months at this pace right here before he would pay off the key machine, and then it would profit for the rest of the time it was there. And the truth was, it paid for itself in 3 months.
Good.
And the fact that he had to wait a year for a thing that for 9 months created a profit and he had to fight for it just tells you how the mental state is about the parts department. It's
Absolutely.
the redheaded stepchild.
It is the redheaded stepchild, yes.
And it's dirty and back there, and it's like a mess, and nobody knows where everything is except for that one guy.
Mm-hmm. That is so true. You know, I had a post about 7 months ago. It was my only, I think, viral post. I don't know what things go viral really, but it had 80 reposts and like over 700 engagement. It was like, but it was an AI image of a parts manager in the middle. Money's flying everywhere, parts are flying everywhere, just like people, like everyone goes to the parts department. And I'm like, you guys, they need more support. And to your point, like, that is just crazy. Like that happens. They need something, and then you have to really fight to prove it.
And it's the parts and accessories, right?
Yeah.
Like cool stuff is in there too.
There are cool. Yeah.
So when I was at the dealership, I would tell the salespeople, like run a contest on your page on your social media every week, and give away a keychain. Go into the parts department, make sure their accessory keychains are all up there, whatever. The guy gets to come in, go to the parts department, meet Jerry Baker, and pick out his own Kia keychain.
Yeah.
They had like 9 or 10 really cool ones. It cost the salesperson, they got it, it cost $2.93. Mm-hmm. That's what the cost was to the salesperson to run a contest and let this guy come and pick out his own keychain.
Oh my gosh.
That was your prize.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, why would you? They wouldn't do it. The salespeople would never do it. But you're so stupid because you're integrating them back into the dealership in the parts department. And while they're in there, they're like, oh my God, you have those rails that go down the top. Oh my God, you have new running boards?
Yes. What is the first thing you do when you buy a new car? You want to accessorize it.
Oh yeah. I mean, for sure.
Why wouldn't you show it all? So yeah.
Well, I was lucky because I ordered my Jeep in, so I ordered it exactly how I ordered it.
You were like, I know what
I even have the flag decal on the roof.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I bet your Jeep's so cool.
And it's a 4xe, right? And so my office is only like a mile away from my house, and they'll go 30 miles on charge.
Oh,
Since I'll plug in electricity.
Yeah.
It's a Jeep right here. Okay. And so I literally put gas in my Jeep once a quarter.
Oh my!
Unless I'm traveling and have to go to an airport, I literally once a quarter. And I ran on. It takes me 25% of my battery life to get to work, 25% home, and then if I have to go to town for something, then I'll use up something. And maybe by the time I'm pulling into my neighborhood, it's like you're at 1%. I'm like, get to my garage. I just flip over to gas.
Yeah, you flip over. Yeah.
So, what is the one thing that that people don't know about you? Like, I want some dirty little secret of Kaylee Felio.
Oh my gosh, I feel so cool.
Like, what was your first car?
It was a Hyundai Elantra.
And you bought it yourself for how much?
$40,000.
Ooh. And how long did you own it before you got a deal?
I have a problem with cars, and I think it's because I'm in the car business. If we go down on the list of cars I've had, how long did I? Okay, so I had it through high school. I got it when I was a junior. So I'm a young. I graduated when I was 17. It's my birthday's in the summer. I feel like, and my husband totaled it. So I didn't even.
You had it for a long time.
I did. Well, I mean, we didn't get married. We've been together since I was 16. So like, that's a whole other story
That's
too.
amazing.
Like,
and he's cute. Sometimes they're cute in school, but they don't blow up.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, he was definitely cute when we were in high school, and he still is cute. But yeah, that's a funny story too because he ended up being. I pushed him into the auto industry. When we moved, I was like, you should try, and then I was like, I know he would be a good parts manager. He's just so efficient and like detailed and kind of an asshole. Can I say that?
Yes, you can say that.
I'm not saying that parts managers are assholes, but you kind of have to be.
You do.
Like you do. You have to fight for it. So, I don't even know how we got that subject, but
Your car.
yeah, my car. So he
And you want to know what miracle that was that I kept that train of thought?
yeah,
Back to the
that
car?
is incredible.
That's a miracle. Just so y'all know, little tiny baby Jesus came here today and helped us with that and kept her thoughts.
So yeah, I think I had that first car probably for like 4 years, maybe 3 years. Yeah, and then I went to a Civic. Then I went to a Jeep. I don't know. We don't want to.
Yeah, so I am not brand loyal.
No, I'm not either because there's so many great.
I know, like I'm like, oh, what is that car? And then I'll
It's
follow it through a
shiny.
parking lot, see what it is. I'm like, that's kind of cool. Buick. Okay, so any of you guys that have a Buick dealership, I apologize. I'm not a Buick fan. I think they smell like old people. But they have a new crossover right now that every time it drives past me, I go, what is that? And I'm like, that's a Buick.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's a good crossover, and I think it's kind of like that. A lot of the brands are going towards that like outdoorsy kind of off-roady thing. which
Yeah,
I
like
love.
Subaru-ish. You know?
Yes, which I love that because I don't know. That's kind of something about me. I feel like a lot of people know is like my family. We go off-roading a lot. We go outdoors.
I do know that.
Yeah.
Camping.
Yeah, and we love being outside. My husband dirt bikes, and he wants me to get one to ride because I used to ride when I was younger. And I'm like, who's gonna watch the kids? He's like, we've got grandparents. I'm like, okay, I want to do it. I really want to do it. 'Cause I love riding. Like, I love that he but like he appreciates and like we share the driving. You know, when you go off roading and you're like the one like I want to drive too, and he like not lets me. That's not the right word. But he embraces that. He's like, you should do it. You know, like
I love that too. That's cool. I love it when somebody's like a little bit adventurous. Like I'll jump off of anything, side of a mountain. Like if I could base jump off of the side of a building, I would do that. Like I don't care.
What about airplane? Have you driven out of airplane? Huh? You have done it?
I did.
Oh my
it was
God.
really boring. It was
boring?
super boring. Okay,
Oh
nobody
my
believes
God.
this unless you've done it, right? So the most exciting or scary part is just leaving the plane.
Yeah.
And then it's like, wow, wind, and then they pull the thing and it's like, now it's boring. I know.
But you have to sit here and wait.
I know. So then it's super boring. So I'm like, how long does this work? Because I'm tandem with this guy. I'm like, how long does this last before we're just down there? He's like, now.
How long does it last?
Like maybe 10, 15 minutes.
Okay. So not like an
Not even
hour.
that long.
Not like an hour floating down.
No, but it doesn't take long for me to float it. I'm like, we get off this thing. And someone else, Jess had told me one time, she was like, well, hey, can I go skydiving? Will you go with me? I'm like, that's what we do. All right, so we have to come to the end of this beautiful little fun introspective that we have done with my friend Kaylee Felio at PartsEdge. But we appreciate you coming by, and I appreciate getting to meet your husband. And if you guys get a chance to follow Kaylee, she puts out some great social content, and you get to know her family and her kids and what she does. And when she's off-roading, I get to watch all that when they're camping under the stars and stuff like that. It's crazy. So I love that. And be sure to tell her that you saw her on the Chicks and Dark podcast.
Thank you.
This episode is brought to you by Authenticom, the business behind the automotive business. And this is Chicks in Charge Automotive Edition, available wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Help us grow. Rate and review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.